Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler, and I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and we are talking about Titans, Season 1, Episode 2, Hawk and Dove. And, oh man, before I even get into the recaps and the review of this, oh man, I really see what we're about to get here, and I don't understand. I don't understand DC. Now, this episode by itself, really, for something written by Akiva Goldsman, was not his worst work. I will say that there were some good bits in this, but okay, we're just gonna go over it because I don't know, man. And some of the DC fans out there, I know you guys, you're a loyal bunch. You're an awesome bunch. I sold comics to you guys for a long time. I love DC. I love DC fans. We might differ on this one. So before I get going, spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the episode, if you have the DC streaming service, please go check it out. And actually it's worth the money. Despite this show, it's totally worth the money with the other TV they have on there and the comic books and everything. It's pretty cool. I think it's kind of worth the money, and especially with the shows that we're going to get, because we are going to get some cool shows, even though Greg Berlanti's name is on all of them. So spoiler warning. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the spoiler paddle as usual. Spoiler paddle brought to you by Viking Bitch. All right. So we are in the second episode of the first show to launch a streaming service, and I'm just getting shades of Star Trek Discovery here. I really am. And oh wow, there's something in common. Akiva Goldsman. And no, I'm not going to let this thing go. This is the guy who wrote Batman and Robin. Letting him within 500 miles of the DC universe, there should be a restraining order against this guy. Okay, there really should. Now, he might not be directly responsible for nipples on the batsuit, but he was there. He wrote the scripts, and we had nipples on the batsuit in 2 movies, not just 1, 2. And we also got the bat butt shots too. That's in Batman and Robin. Let's not forget that. Okay. And this is dark. I mean, this is really dark. And now if you want to like shoot a Batman this way, or I don't know, Hitman maybe in this tone, but I'm not too sure about Teen Titans. And yes, it's called Titans, but it's the Teen Titans. That's what this is based on. It's one of the greatest comic book series ever put to print. The great Marv Wolfman and George Perez did a historic run, one of my favorite runs, and it's my favorite DC comic. I love Jeff Johns' run from the early 2000s, or the early aughts, as we call them. And it's fun, and it's supposed to be a fun, thrilling comic book. Now, if you want to like mix in some dark elements once in a while, that is totally cool. But we got really extreme violence. Let's just get into Hawk and Dove story. So Hawk and Dove in the comic books get their powers. Yes, they have powers from the Lord of Order and the Lord of Chaos. I'm forgetting their names right now. And honestly, I did sell comics, did not read a lot of Hawk and Dove. I read when they interacted with other DC heroes that I read. They did have a mini series for a little while, or a series that got canceled. I can't remember, in the mid 2000s, maybe. I don't know. But as far as the actors playing them, they did a good job with that. All right, I'll give you that. The actor playing Hawk, who is Alan Ritchson, and the actress or actor playing Dove, which is Minka Kelly, did a pretty good job with what they were given. Now, of course, we couldn't just have 2 superheroes like in their prime getting along. I know, because that's like horrible storytelling, right? Because if we don't have that, we'd actually have to show like superhero action and superhero stuff. But since we want to try to avoid showing superhero stuff as much as possible in these shows, and this is not the only one guilty of it. Actually, this one does a little better than, say, Iron Fist season 2 and Jessica Jones and all these other quote unquote superhero shows where it's just people sitting around in hallways and talking about their feelings. We start out the episode with Hank, or Hawk, chained up and he is caught by some gun runners. Now, as it appears in this show, they are just vigilantes. They are just crime fighters who decided to put on a costume, lift some weights. Well, Hank lifted some weights. I don't know about Dawn, and go out and fight crime. Now, there's no allusion to them actually having any powers. So he's caught by some gun runners, and they're going to torture him. And one guy is gonna, of course, the torturer comes out, of course, and he's in your typical torturer gear. He's got the little bib on, and he's got his gear, and it's all on a table because all torturers look like that. And he's gonna go, and he goes up and stabs him, and he's who do you work for? Does that stuff, and it doesn't work. So of course he brings out his scissors because he's gonna chop off Hawk's little hawk, basically. And then, of course, the lights turn out, and he is saved by Dove. So Dove comes in and saves Hawk, the 260-pound guy who was about 6'4", who couldn't fight off these five guys, but the little 120-pound supermodel comes in and kicks everybody's ass. Now, mind you, if they had powers, no problem. Totally can buy it. But if they don't have powers, I don't know. So she saves them. And they talk about their bodies are breaking down. They're getting too old for this shit, and they make out. And that's the one thing I do know about Hawk and Dove is they have kind of they have a relationship, which is rare in comic books, and it's kind of one of the cool things about their dynamic. And they did do that. Okay, she she says he looks kind of hot, like all tied up like that, and she should leave him there. And they end up going back to the house, and we just get some characterization. We find out they've been together for 3.5 years. Hank marks their 3.5-year anniversary. Are we starting to do half-year anniversaries? Do I have to do that? Please don't tell Mrs. Nerdrotic about half-year anniversary, because no, that shit gets expensive. Okay. So yes, so they're honoring their 3.5-year anniversary, and he built her like a little dove cage on the roof, which is actually pretty nice, capturing poor wild animals. And no, sorry, I don't want to sound like a hippie right there. And so we get to find out that he's starting to break down, and they want to do one more job. They want to break up this gun ring, and then they're going to take their retirement money and move to Wisconsin, because God, everybody wants to move to Wisconsin after they retire, right? I mean, that is the dreamland. No offense to anybody in Wisconsin. It's just, I've been there. Okay. Hey, it's cheaper in California. I'll give you that. And so they want to retire to Wisconsin, and then there's a sex scene, and of course Hank has performance issues. Of course he does. because they have to do that. So right now I think I'm watching Akiva Goldsmith's Garth Ennis's Teen Titans. I'm kind of mixed up. I'm kind of thinking it's either Grant Morrison's Teen Titans or Garth Ennis's Teen Titans. Probably Garth Ennis's Teen Titans, written by somebody who hates superheroes. Yes, performance issue Hank. Yeah. So not much of a hawk, is he? Yeah. So we also, and oh, by the way, in this episode, we do not get any Starfire or Beast Boy. So we got about a minute of Beast Boy at the end of the first episode. Who is, if you're looking at he's not like an original member of the Teen Titans, but if you look at the George Perez, Marv Wolfman Teen Titans, he is an original member of that Teen Titans. You think he would get a little more screen time, but of course they introduced 2 new superheroes. And there's a reason for that, and we'll get to in the end, but I'm not sure it was a great reason. And Starfire needs some explaining, needs a lot of explaining. Yes, she does. That costume needs some splaining for sure. As far as we got to last episode, she is not a call girl. She is a club goer. Okay, so she's a party, or she's dressed like a party girl, but she's undercover. Okay, so that's the explanation for the costume. You can buy that or not. Still doesn't make it a good look, in my opinion. Okay, so it turns Dick is with Rachel, and he's taking her somewhere to some friends to give her a safe place to stay. While he's driving out there, he promises that he won't leave her. Because she mentions, like she's an orphan now, and she knows he's an orphan. She even asks, like, do you ever lose the feeling of being left behind as an orphan? And first he lies and says yes, and then says no. Yeah. Well, maybe when you're young, but trust me, you get over stuff like that. I would know. And yeah, so they're basically going to Hawk and Dove's place where they're going to lay low for a little while. In the meantime, we see Detective Rohrback, and she looks at the body of now one. I'm trying to figure. IMDb says the guy who tried to attack Raven at the end of episode 1. They call him the Acolyte. Now, there is a villain, a Teen Titans villain, the Acolyte, but he is nothing like it. And then another place called him Red Star. He's neither one of those. So I'm not sure what the name was for the guy. It doesn't really matter because he's dead. And they are at the morgue, and they pull his body out, and it's basically just a skin suit. And what Raven had done is pretty much sucked out all his bloods and liquefied his organs, and ew. So yeah, they look at the body, but they notice that there's a Raven tattoo on the back, and that's the important part. And she is on the case. We get more Robin, or I'm going to call them by their superhero names. I just can't say Dick all the time. Robin and Raven are still on the road, but Robin decides to call Alfred. So we finally get our little Gotham City connection. Of course, we don't really hear Alfred's voice. We hear like a muffled voice, and Robin is calling and asking him for something at this point. So they end up going to Hawk and Dove's house, and before that, we did get a little flashback where after Hank had his performance issues and he falls asleep, bastard. Performance issues, then you fall asleep on the poor girl. What a dick. And she goes to the medicine cabinet, and she's pulling out a pill, and it causes her to have a flashback about a time she fought with Robin. So we had Hawk and Dove fighting with Robin, and of course this was they did the cover of Kids in America for this little fight scene, which just used the original. The cover was not good, and it alluded to the fact that Hawk and Dick had not Hawk and Dick. I'm sure. Well, they might have a relationship at some point. No, Dawn and Dick had a relationship prior to Hawk and Dove's because they'd only been together for 3.5 years, and Dick had bailed her like a dick. Yeah, so he ends up showing up at their door. She's surprised, and he says, hey, I've got this girl here, and we got to lay low. So, my department is compromised, and we just got to kind of figure things out. He makes some Detective Rohrback calls him, tells him what's up, and forwards him some information. And before that, they had Dick and Rachel had some pizza, and he left her alone in a hotel room for some reason because, you want to leave all your Robin computer and everything behind with the teenager you don't know who people want to kill. You just want to leave her behind in the hotel while you go get pizza. And she had a little freak out session. So again, I doubled back on that one because my notes are all screwed up. But we're at Hawk and Dove's house, and of course, Hawk is not happy to see Robin. He's jealous. So on top of having performance issues, and by the way, he's showing the signs of crime fighting, and she is not. She doesn't have a scratch on her, but apparently he needs a new hip. He's had multiple concussions, but she doesn't have a scratch. Oh, and she also doesn't get nerves. She mentioned that she doesn't get nerves. So yes, Hank, of course, is jealous that Robin's there. He wants to know what he's doing, and basically calls Robin out for what he is, a dick. He comes in and gets what he wants and bails, and he's not really good with people. That he admits a lot during this episode. So we have jealous Hawk. In the meantime, we also meet our villains, and this was one of the good things of the episode. And by the way, if you're new to this, I'm going to do a brief recap, and then I'll get to you guys in the chat. We see the nuclear family who made their first appearance in The Outsiders, if I remember correctly. And this is a good villain. Okay, and this was a villain done well. And this villain is a nuclear family. It's like Ozzy and Harriet, but evil. And I really love this. So we have a little scene of a mom and dad and it looks like it's out of the 50s, and they're playing Monopoly. Then a guy shows up to the door and says, "You're activated." Dad goes to the cupboard and it's got a safe. It's a cupboard safe, so I don't know, keeps their fluid injections. They all injected each other with something, and right after Dad says, "Family trip," and they will be going after Raven. They need to go get. Now I don't know who they're working for. Maybe the government. Maybe who knows? Who knows at this point? Robin does end up meeting Alfred, although we don't see it. He ends up getting some money. In the meantime, Hawk and Dove are investigating the gun runners, and these gun runners are selling guns to preteens. So this is the final job they want to do. Robin takes a look at the case and says, "You know what? It's probably not a good idea. You guys should be cautious." It doesn't look like Dove is listening to him. She also wants to know what's going on with Robin. Robin, in a brief conversation, mentions like he's not the man he was before. He's gone dark. And remember, in this world, Batman has killed somebody, and that's the reason Robin left. But Robin is pretty fucking brutal in this. He is. So we have some interaction with Rachel, and she tons of Game of Thrones references in this. It's practically a Game of Thrones commercial. She's watching it in the background, and of course she goes out shopping with Dove, and they become best friends. And when they come back, they go out and do the job. Robin does not go with them, and it does not go well for Hawk and Dove. They go and try to break up the gun runners, and they capture them. And then of course Robin comes in and saves them. And right before he does that, the torturer comes out. He breaks out his scissors, and he's going to cut off little Hawk again. And Robin comes up behind him and stabs the guy right in the gonads. And they show it with the scissors, and then throws his little Robin throwing star in a guy's eye. This was after last episode where he was stomping on people's heads, rubbing their faces against glass. So the violence is, and you think that's kind of weird saying this in a superhero show, but there's a way to do violence in a superhero show that's not that fits the theme of what you're doing. Now, this kind of violence works in a Punisher, works in Daredevil, which I just did a review of. That's fine. That's where it belongs. Daredevil and Punisher are almost like rated R superheroes, kind of like Logan. The Teen Titans are not even a PG, they're a PG superheroes. You just had 2 cartoons on them. So what do you think? Do you think kids aren't going to go watch the Titans? So who exactly are you making this for? Now, if you're making it for like new 50-year-old comic book fans, maybe that's it. But no, that I actually, yes, I would like the violence toned down just a little bit and the fun turned up a lot, because this is dark and dreary, and we have superheroes with performance issues. We have, feelings in hallways, in hotel rooms and stuff. We have feelings in hotel rooms. We did have costumes, the Hawk and Dove costumes. That's debatable. I'd say Hawk's costume looked pretty good. Dove costume, while being comic book accurate, somewhat, her cape looked like foam. I don't know how dangerous foam is. I don't know how useful the foam feathers are. I don't know. But I didn't really have a problem with the goggles and stuff. I know a lot of people are probably, but and I usually love costumes, and so like Hawk's costume looked fine. Robin's costume looks good. The nuclear family was good, but the extreme violence and just the really stupid decision, like they keep leaving Rachel alone. So like when Robin goes out to save Hawk and Dove, he leaves Rachel alone again. Of course, what do teenagers do? They go through shit when you're out of the house. That's why I got locks on all my fucking doors. And so she goes through and she finds the letter from Alfred, and the money from Alfred and a letter from Dick that he was going to leave to Hawk and Dove, and he was basically going to leave Rachel there. So he was going to leave her. She finds out. She's a little upset about this. And when they get back from their little adventure, Robin, Dawn, and Hank, they see Rachel's gone. Then they find her upstairs, and she confronts him and just calls him a liar pants, liar face, and keeps calling him that. And of course, the nuclear family shows up at the end, and fights everybody. Rachel just kind of cowers down because she doesn't know how to do her powers yet, and that's fine. Dick gets his ass kicked, thrown over a ledge. Um, Hank gets taken out pretty easy. Now, the nuclear family is super powered, by the way. They've got this like, dopey looking dad like kicking the shit out of Hank. That's cool. That's fine. You have mom out there kicking butt. The only thing they're missing is the dog. There is a dog, by the way. There's an evil dog, and I kind of wish they had it. But yeah, so a fight ensues. Hank gets like strangled, and then they heavy spoiler warning on this one. Heavy spoiler warning on this one. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They kill Dove. So I mean, look, probably not, but she gets thrown off a ledge. It's God, 15 stories, 12 stories. I'm not really sure. A really long fall that would kill anybody. And remember, she is not super powered in this that I know of, unless maybe this is leading to her superpowers. Now, the only thing I'm going to say is Hank is subdued. So Robin gets to her first and is trying to administer CPR. She says she's dying. She's choking up blood. I don't know how she survives this, but the fact that they didn't show her actually die at the end of the episode would lead me to believe that she's probably not going to die. And maybe this is where they get their powers. And that would kind of explain a lot. It would be completely out of order and weird, but what the hell? This is Akiva Goldsman, so what the hell? So she ends up, laying flat on the ground, choking up blood. And I'm thinking, wow, this is fun. This is fun. I'm glad I'm watching the Teen Titans. And thank you, Cece, for the $20 super chat. I love your content on YouTube and Patreon. Wow, Cece. And I love, wow, is that Betty Page right there? I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we're going to get to the chat because this is an interactive review. And I babbled on that quite a bit, but I want this show to be good. Teen Titans, again, favorite DC comic. It's my favorite DC comic, and DC is producing this, and this is so far from the Teen Titans. You couldn't get, I mean, like, I feel like I'm watching The Watchmen. And basically that's what you're doing. They're trying to deconstruct young superheroes. How do you do that? How do you even do that? Story-wise, it makes no fucking sense. Okay, if you want to deconstruct superheroes, you have to have them in their late 30s, Batman's age. Oh, I don't know, The Watchmen, where they're all kind of old. That's when you deconstruct. You don't deconstruct the Teen Titans. They're not even constructed yet. So it's full of angst. And, not everything has to be happy and frolicky like the cartoon. God, no. But can we find a happy medium somewhere? And could this be fun? Now, maybe this, and I can already see what they're going to do. So this episode in itself was not as, it wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't Akiva Goldsman's worst effort. But I see what's happening. What's going to happen is what we got in Cloak and Dagger, what we're getting in pretty much every Netflix show except for Daredevil. What else did we? Runaways. Is we're not going to get the fully realized team until the last 5 minutes of the last episode. So I am totally against this. This is the reason you do a television show. If we can put teams together within a movie, you can put a team together within 4 or 5 episodes. Now, I could be wrong, but seeing that we didn't see 2 of our main characters in this episode, and again, one that really needs some explaining, that's where I feel like I'm going to go. You can call me out on that, and I will admit I was wrong. At the end of the series, we will be recapping every episode. Now, yeah, I don't like Akiva Goldsman, but if it turns good and gets entertaining, I'll tell you. I don't care. I don't have anything against him personally. I just don't like him anywhere near genre. I guess the guy does okay with dramatic writing and stuff, and he's won an Oscar, which shows you what, whatever, Oscars. Yeah. So what do you guys think? I don't know exactly. I don't know how many people who saw this. Do you guys even have the DC streaming service? Do you think it's worth the money? And this is behind a paywall. So that's the other thing. They're really, it's, You know that the extreme violence doesn't go along with the storytelling at all. It's almost Monty Python ish. When I see the spraying blood, like Robin punches one guy and there's a big splat of blood on the freaking window, I started laughing, and I just hear the Black Knight going, "'Tis but a flesh wound," you know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't. Oh man, there's a lot of people in the chat. How's it going? Yeah, I'm fired up for this one. Okay, I am. I am. This yeah, it makes no sense. Within this show, there was good elements, but it's not the Teen Titans. It's something else. Like I said, it's Garth Ennis's Teen Titans. Hello, Mary Ashmead, Felipe Diaz, Salam 899, Mako. How's it going? Yeah, Beautiful Mind, which I don't like. Thought it was a terrible movie. Bloody awful movie. Just super basic and yeah, he wrote A Beautiful Mind. So I will put that as a mark against him. He did write a couple things. He did write something I like. It was a Joel Schumacher movie, and Joel Schumacher gets a lot of shit, but he's actually directed some very good. He's directed Falling Down, Lost Boys. That's what I heard, that Joel Schumacher was directing a Batman movie. I was over fucking joyed. I was like, oh my God, the guy who did Lost Boys is going to do a Batman movie. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. Meh, meh, meh. Those nipples in the Batsuit are traumatizing. And I love that one of the things that George R. R. Martin always puts in Game of Thrones is all that's about as useful as nipples on a breastplate. You know that's right for the nipples on the Batsuit. Yeah, Tyon, I don't think he's got the Bat credit card. I think he's on his own. He stole a Porsche. What Dick is an ungrateful little dick. So Batman takes him in. So yeah, so he kills the guy. I mean, what's the context of it? And what are you doing? Yeah, okay, you're not killing anybody, but you just made sure the torture guy, you turn him into a eunuch, and you're taking out people's eyes like it's no tomorrow. Yeah, and he doesn't like what he's turning into. Yeah. I think Akiva is hit or miss. When it's hit, he's all right. When it's a miss, he's not even in the same dimension, and he heavily leans into the miss territory. He does, Apple Crow, and one of his biggest problems. And I'll ask the ladies out there who have seen this: he can't write women for shit, like for shit. Teenage girls are just watching Game of Thrones, and like I love this. There's a scene where Robin comes in and is like, "Should you be watching Game of Thrones?" But he bought her like a bunch of fucking candy. She's sitting there like eating like, and how old is Rachel? Is she 12 or is she 16? I mean, there's a difference. All right. But she's eating all this candy. It's like, you can watch Game of Thrones all day long. You cannot eat all that candy though. Like, Jesus, diabetes. I remember Hawk and Dove from Justice League Unlimited, and they were done very well. And R.I.P. And she, the actress, Minka Kelly, did a good job with as Dove. She did. I have no problem with the actor's portrayal of Hawk and Dove. I thought that was good. That's what kind of saves the show. The guy playing Robin is just kind of a, I don't know, he's kind of piece of wood. He's kind of a piece of wood. He's not terrible, And Rachel is, I mean, while not being Raven at all, is doing fine as a teenage girl. So I really don't have a problem with that. Mako, the show is not good. I'm sorry, man. Or I'm sorry, I say man. I the show is not good. It's something, but good is it's relative. And I would compare it a little bit to Gotham, but Gotham is fun. The biggest difference between this show and Gotham is fun. Now, if you take the tone that you're using now and you inject a little Gotham craziness, I'd be okay with that. I would totally, like mix it into Gotham. But no, I don't think liking Gotham is a bad thing. I think Gotham's kind of bonkers and fun. And it knows what it is. It knows like we're a show that doesn't count. So we're just going to have fun with it. And they show respect to the universe, at least. This is by DC and shows no respect to the Teen Titans. My God, if I was the Justice League and I saw this stuff, I would, yeah, all these kids would be going to their room without their fucking dinner and be grounded. No TV. What the fuck? I'll give you this, Mako. It's not bloody awful, like kind of like what the CW shows have turned into. Now, before you guys get on me about that, I used to like the CW shows. I thought pretty much all of them started well. I thought they all had solid first and second seasons. And I mean all of them. I haven't seen a lot of Black Lightning. That's probably that's probably the best one out right now. I just dipped out of Legends of Tomorrow, like got so bad. I couldn't watch it. And Supergirl's never been good to me, but that's one, I don't totally count that as a CW show because it started out on CBS and it was, it's not marketed to me. So I understand that. Although I have probably read more Supergirl comics than most people who watch that show. Let's get back to the chat here. And Matthew Davies says 6-inch heels hurt like hell. When you walk into Matthew, tell me about it, man. Walk a mile in her shoes. Yeah. Okay, so how do I know what it's like to walk? I know what you're saying, Matthew. I'm just kidding. But I was in the Rocky Horror Cast, and you have to wear heels. That's the only time I ever wore heels. It was part of, it was for art, okay, and fun. But I did feel a little pretty, I have to admit. Tyon Ranger says, so standard Marvel action style writing, tiny chicks beat down everybody with ease. Gotcha. Yes. That's funny. And again, if they're powered, the thing is, there are some shows that do it right. Okay. So if you are a smaller person, let's not even keep it with I won't say stick it. That's bad. Let's not keep it with girls. Let's do tiny people. Let's just do tiny people. Let's do 105, 130-pound people fighting 200 and 225 people. I don't care if you're a 20th degree black belt that can levitate. Unless you have a gun, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a really, really hard time unless you know like pressure points and like go for the knees and you have a stick or something. But straight up mano-y-mano, yeah. I might have been in a couple of scuffles in my time. And getting hit by somebody who weighs over 260 pounds really fucking hurts a lot. And it's really hard. It rings your fucking bell so hard. You're not getting up. And I see that all the time, like people getting their heads banged up against toilets and stuff like that. It's fucking porcelain, man. I'll kill you. But that's Hollywood. And it's okay to do that once in a while. I know I'm watching a comic book thing, and believe me, the girls in the comic books are very skinny too. So, but Dove has powers. That's the big difference. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, powers, totally fine. She kicks a fucking army's ass. Yes, because she's a goddess. She's fucking Wonder Woman. The Hawk and Dove relationship reminded me a bit of Night Owl and Silk Spectre. Absolutely. A lot of this reminded me of Watchmen, Mako. Now, that Night Owl Silk Spectre relationship, I loved. And yes, I like the Watchmen movie. I like it. I do. I know Doomcock. I know Doomcock and I might differ on that one. I heard him talking about Watchmen. And I like the movie. I do. I don't like anything else. I'm Doomsday Clock is okay, but I'm only okay with it because DC already did before Watchmen, which I had to sell at my comic store, but I hated, and I made no secret of it. I was very honest with the people who bought it. I'm like, I hate this. This should not exist. But if you still want to buy it, go ahead. Kind of hard to run a comic shop when you're a purist on some stuff. Apple Crow says, I was a normie for 2 weeks. Then my parents took me to Star Wars, and I've been a nerd ever since. Yep. Was it Star Wars that made you a nerd? That's a good subject for Friday Night Tights. What made you a nerd? What's your nerd origin? Save it for Friday night. Don't do it here. Save it for Friday night. I think that's a great one. Thank you, Apple Crow. Once again, thanks to Tamrocks, who sponsored our Apostle review of last night. And I know you're superhero Titan fans right now, but Dan Stevens from Legion is in a Netflix movie called The Apostle, and it's fucking awesome. You want to see some good gratuitous violence that like means something that fits within the story? Go watch that. Oh man, and I'm kind of okay. Like I'm a little squeamish. I don't like I can see like heads getting blown off or cut off and stuff like that, but I'm really like bad with like nails being ripped off or broken knees. I don't know. It depends on what it is. Or some of the torture they did in that one. It's yikes. Robin can take Hawk Job with Dove. um Yeah, you know what? I'm like at the end of the episode, I'm like, you just killed your most interesting character. Oh my god, Gary, who says everybody wants to retire to Wisconsin? I'm loving. I'm I'm moving to Texas or Queensland, Australia. Wow, that's a big Andor right there, Chris Persia. Texas or Queensland, Australia. Um, the only reason I joke about them retiring to Wisconsin is because Mrs. Nerdrotic actually proposed that to me. And after I laughed, then she said she was serious, and then I had to apologize. And then it kind of makes sense though. That's where she's from. My wife is from the great Wisconsin, the one of the best states ever. Actually, I've only gone out there when it's not winter, so I love it. I think it's fun. Nice people out there. A little town called Sheboygan. Sounds like something you do in the back of a car. And the cheese is very good there. The cheese curds, the hard rolls. You know what? A brat is not good unless it's on a Wisconsin hard roll, don't you know? Um, Night Owl had performance issues too. That's right. What's up with that? Well, you know, so did Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. Um, you know, there's things that can help that. But the thing with performance issues is I don't know if you're out there fighting all the time and you're having performance issues, then it must be all the pills he's taken. Like opioids can give you performance issues, but if you're out there fighting all the time and keeping that testosterone up, you ain't gonna have no fucking performance issues. You kidding me? Hell no. Um, isn't there an acolyte in the Flash as well? Yeah. Well, I'm forgetting his name now. It's Constantine something or other, the Red Star. That's what another reviewer called him, the guy who's basically Red Star, but he was also Constantine something or other. He was in The Flash, and he was played by, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Dolph Lundgren, right? Wasn't he played by Dolph Lundgren? They were saying it was that character, but I'm like, where do you get that? I don't know. I thought he was Russian, but maybe I'm wrong. Um, last time I had performance issues, I bought more RAM. Well done, Apple Crow. I don't have sound effects. You know, I got a board too. I should maybe do that. I so regret not being able to show off my maniacal laugh for Apple Crow. Of course, I need something maniacal to laugh about. Well, you know, watch this show, Viking bitch. You'll be laughing. Hello, Just Read. How are you? Rah, ha, ha, ha. Bring your rubbers. Yeah, you know what? Again, Venture Brothers has more respect for the superhero for superheroes and comic books than DC has for their own characters. That's why I think Doc Hammer and Jackson Public should run everything. The country, um, and definitely Marvel Comics, the DC Universe, my taxes, and yeah. Mm. I'm totally watching you guys while I'm work. Well, hello, undisclosed comic store in undisclosed place in the world. Hello. Hey Feisty, when are you coming out anyway? I thought you were going to come out at the end of the year. When are you going to dox yourself? Because I'm going to accidentally do it. Um, yeah, Mako loved it. I hated it. That's kind of normal though. Mako likes Star Trek Discovery too, and I don't. But that's okay. That's why we can hang out here and be respectful because we don't like everything. Mako likes a lot of the stuff I like though, and I like a lot of the stuff Mako likes. Let's not focus on the 2 or 3 things we don't like, which is fine. But no, not liking it so far. But I'm going to give it a chance, and if it turns around, I'll tell you it turns around. I don't want to, and if you come at me with, if anybody would like to come at me with the hater, I will retort with this. I have spent thousands of dollars on DC comic books, Teen Titan comic books, DC toys, DC apparel. I sold thousands of comic books to thousands of people, dedicated my life to this shit. So no, I'm not a hater. And being calling somebody a hater is not an argument. Now, if you want to come at me with no, actually, I think this is more accurate. Give me a example. Fine, that's fine. That's good. That's called debate. We can do that all day. The nuclear family was my favorite scene where the mom takes the drugs and gives them to the kids. Yes, that was good. And then the kids go, who wants these? And they're like, me. Who wants to be first? No, the nuclear family and Dove were the best, and Hawk and Dove were the best thing in this, and they completely outshone Robin and Rachel. Mage Grey Wolf. Well, I won't read that. I understand. Yes, I think. I mean, dressing Starfire up like that and expecting people not to say stuff, is, for one, setting your expectations to a very unrealistic level. We like to manage our expectations. We do. But yeah, and it's also really wow. Kind of I don't know, the costume designer. I mean, I don't want to make a personal attack about the costume designer. It just oof, no awareness at all on that one. Now, again, I have gone to the club with girls dressed like that. That is, I buy it as a club goer, but when we're walking to and fro from the club, I've heard a couple things. Let's just say, especially here in San Francisco, you hear things. Robin didn't just snip the dude's junk off silhouette and animator. He jammed those things right into his huevos, and I felt that pain. That was that's the kind of pain. All guys just wince. You want to make a dude wince? Just do what they just did there. Yes, Chris Persia. This is, it's more Frank Castle than Robin, than Dick Grayson for sure. And that's what they're trying to be. They want to be. It's Netflix CW. That's the best way to describe this. It's Netflix CW, except without the storytelling. So now, is Titans, like, if you ask me comparatively, is it better than Iron Fist 2? I'd kind of have to say, yeah. I'd have to say Titans is better than Iron Fist 2. It's better than Jessica Jones season 2. But though, I mean, that's, I don't know. That's like saying dirt is better than sawdust is better than dirt. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's other references I didn't feel like making right there. What is this garbage rated? Rated G for garbage. No, it's I think it's rated. I didn't even see. It's probably rated like a PG-13. But God knows if they showed half a nipple, it'd be rated X or something like that nowadays. Feisty fan superpower is her laugh. And yeah, her and Viking Bitch have a laugh that could bring world peace, in my opinion. And don't forget to lick that button, folks. Gary, yeah, I'm gonna definitely not. No, Logan. Logan is free to watch this if he wants. He's old enough to watch this stuff. Logan won't though. Not into it. Logan is a Marvel kid. He is a Marvel kid through and through. He does like Batman. He likes Batman the animated series, but right now he is just on the biggest Spider-Man kick of all time. So, foam feathers, yes, foam feathers. And again, Cece, thank you for the $20 super chat. Oh my God, I'm so far behind on chat. What the hell happened? I'm gonna have to skip ahead a little bit, folks. If I miss something, just hit Add Nerdrotic channel and I'll read it again. While super chats are not required, because I read all the chat anyway. I read as much as I can anyway. I like Texas, Saquist. I think it's a fine state. It's a fine state. I have friends who live there. I have new friends who live there. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Texas. They're also stealing pretty much all of California's companies, rightly so. If I was a company, I would not fucking do business here. If I had a choice, the Titans is still not as graphic as Gotham, and it was TV 14. Well, graphic is like, that ain't no thing on TV anymore. But again, you show half a nipple, and oh my God, hey, $5 super chat. What is up, Jess Reed? I think the Peter and MJ reunion is going to screw me like they did with Batman and Catwoman marriage. I am done. Oof, man, Feisty will be more up on that than me, Jess Reed. But if they pulled in the Marvel universe what they did with Batman and Catwoman with Peter and MJ, that could be the final nail in the Marvel coffin. I'll put it that way for comic books. You know, Marvel comic books has been able to get away from being horrifically bad because the movies have been good. That's been covering up a lot of taint. We'll see. We'll see. I want comics to do well. Well, Jess, you just broke the first rule. But you're writing about it. You're not talking about it. Yes, I love my Fight Club shirt. This shirt is, God, it's ancient. I bought this shirt when the movie came out. Tekkaman Blade, yes, Warner hates making superhero movies. It really shows. It does. What DC and Tom King are doing now is certainly divisive. That is Mako is always diplomatic. That's a very diplomatic way to put it. What DC's this whole, you know what, this, I think we could all agree that this felt like this is definitely a new 52 era Titans. We'll just say that. And they really want to go back to that for some reason, because nobody remembers what the outcry was when Marvel was outselling DC. I would say 2-1 being the average sale of Marvel. Marvel would sell, 2 comics to every DC's 1, basically. So you had Batman was their best-selling title back then, compared to what was the best-selling title for Marvel. It was probably an X-Men title of some kind. So X-Men would be selling 130,000. Batman would be selling like 70. I thought, do you not like Discovery? I never got the, you defend it a lot, Mako, but maybe you don't like it. I did utter a dirty word. Now, is Titans as bad as Discovery? No, but it could be. It could be. We got to see this thing play out. Now, remember, we're only on episode 2. And even if you go back and watch my recaps after the second episode of Star Trek Discovery, I was still willing to give it a chance. Saquist is a proud hater of STDs. What did an STD ever do to you? Oh, by the way, thanks for bringing that up, Halam899. As Titans and Donna Troy fanboy, I'm sad how they're treating a big part of the DC Comics history. Did you see the picture? The picture that was in Hawk and Dove's room, and it was a picture of Hank and Dawn, and I do believe it was Dick, and I saw a brunette girl, and I was like, now I could be wrong on this one because I know they're going to bring in Donna Troy, and maybe they've even cast her. Let me see who they cast for it. I thought of Donna Troy at that point. So Donna Troy, played by yep. Okay. So yes, the girl who was in that picture in Honk and Dove's apartment is Donna Troy. So we don't know where she is right now, and it looked like she was with Dick. But yes, I wonder if you guys caught that. That was we got some Donna Troy. I love Donna Troy. Okay. Hey, who all read when Titans and Outsiders ended and they relaunched the Teen Titans with Jeff Johns with the great Michael Turner covers? Who remembers Graduation Day? The miniseries Graduation Day. Fuck, that was good. I sold so many of those comics, and I don't think DC was expecting it to be the hit it was. People forget that DC was actually they were telling really good stories before they blew everything up and went ahead and did Identity Crisis and stuff and all that garbage. Well, not all of it was garbage, but I mean, all that stuff, we'll say. They canceled some amazing comic books to do that stuff, and it just makes no sense. I can't watch people getting stabbed in the genitals. That is too far. Yeah, that's something you don't need. I mean, you can just insinuate it. Yeah. I don't know. Philip A. Demick loves Donna Troy. I do too. I think Donna Troy is in a lot of ways. I think she's a better character than Wonder Woman. Yes, I said it. I went out there and said it. There it is. Come at me. I like Donna Troy than more than I like Wonder Woman. But like I said, I'm a Teen Titans fan. I've always loved that comic. So Teen Titans used to outsell the X-Men back in the day, kids. Netflix has parental controls. Does DC service? Yeah, I'm sure it does. I predict a huge blowback when parents realize what's on the DC universe. They have to have parental controls. I haven't looked, but yeah, if little 7-year-old Susie or Bobby is watching Robin stab somebody in the gonads because she's going to the Titan show thinking she's going to get the Teen Titans go. Yeah. It'd be funny if somebody made a montage of the Teen Titans violence to the Teen Titans cartoon song. Somebody get on that. I think that'd be really funny. Get the Puffy Amiyumi. By the way, we met Puffy Amiyumi. Freaking cute. So cute. Yeah. And I love that theme song. So yeah, get on that. Just Robin's jamming somebody in the nads over and over again to Teen Titans Go. What's up? The Hound 3000 needs some hugs. So I have been going on almost an hour here. That is what, man, I meant to do this for a half an hour, but there was a lot to break down and there's a lot to talk about this show. And yeah, I'm already getting a Star Trek Discovery vibe off Titans, which is divisive at best. I'm going to probably get a lot of down votes and some up votes on this. We'll see. But yeah, that's what we're here is for, the conversation. As long as you're civil, let's talk about it. You can throw in the comments. We have one of the best chats on YouTube, period. And not everybody in here agrees on everything, but they all get along with each other, which is nice. And they're funny, really funny people. Okay. What's up, Joe? How's it going? Good to see you. Uh, Joe, I was trying to stay away from this, but man, it's out there and it's funny. There seems to be a lot of focus on Dick. There really is a lot of focus on Dick. They put Dick on the couch. Um, they also had, Dick was really out there. He was out there being a dick. There was a lot of Dick being a dick, and some focus on Dick. Uh, he's a very violent Dick. Yeah, he's slapping things around, and it's horrible what Dick is doing. So, yeah, I totally get what you're saying, but I don't think Dick is having performance issues like Hank is. I think Dick's performance has been is done all right. Hey, Gary, I just got here. Don't leave yet. We'll stay for a few more minutes. Uh, did I miss Feisty super chat? Thank you for letting me know. Gosh dang, I'm supposed to keep that window open. Feisty, I'm sorry. Feisty, $1.99. Hearing you, Gary, makes me happy. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that I don't hear that often. So thank you. I'm usually told to shut up, but yeah, it's all right. So I once again thank you to all the super chats. Once again, thank you, Feisty fan, for the $1.99. I hope I'm helping. I know things life can suck sometimes, but we carry on. We do, and we just at those moments you want to just find the stuff that brings a little happiness, while of course dealing with the problems at hand. CC, thank you for the $20 super chat, and wow, and the kind words. I love your content on YouTube and Patreon. Wow. Just dropped our first Expanse commentary on Patreon, by the way. I'm going to do another one in a couple days. I think the Peter, yeah, and then just read $5 for the Peter and MJ reunion there. So we'll read a couple more chats. I think Robin is delusion with the way Batman allows criminals to live so they can harm other people again. It would make an interesting psychological a philosophical, I'm sorry. It would make an interesting philosophical question if they explore that. It would, Cato, but they kind of have. They have. But the problem with that one is I think and they've actually, yeah, I think I'm brain farting right now. They have, but problem is sometimes those good stories get lost and buried in so many. That's why it's bad to relaunch your universe, because I'm sure if we make the statement, well, Robin, you know being sanctimonious towards Batman for his not killing villains, there's probably 18 stories out there, 15 of them being good, but they're like maybe one's in an Outsiders, and it was 3 universe launches before, and it just doesn't count. And that's what kind of and that's why I've always leaned Marvel, because up until they blew up the 616, in my opinion, during Secret Wars, everything counted. It didn't always make sense, and it doesn't have to always make sense, but it needs to count. That's why I was a big fan of the convergence of DC. I thought that was a freaking brilliant idea. Now they're going away and Rebirth. This was wonderful. I would say right now I'm a bigger DC fan than Marvel fan, comic wise, by far, because DC is just better right now. Okay. Marvel fans can even admit that. Like, DC's just putting out better content, better art, better storytelling. Do I do Streamlabs? Joe, thank you for the $20 super chat. Preliminary effective new information schooling. Penis. Penis. That is from Venture Brothers. And somebody is missing a penis from this episode of Titans. But Dick is performing well. I would say so. What to say? Do I do Streamlabs? No, Jez, I don't. Mecca does Streamlabs. Maybe I should check it out. Wouldn't Robin being Jason Todd make more sense since how they are writing him? Says how do you Tyon Ranger? Is it Tyon Ranger? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Joe, thanks again for the super chat. Yes, they are completely writing him like Jason Todd right now. Well, it's like a measured Jason Todd, but they're bringing in Jason Todd later. What's up, Captain Robert April? Bottom line, is Titans any good? No. It can pull itself out. If it can pull itself out of, for lack of a better term, the gutter, yes, it could be good. If you're looking for just some dark, gritty, Watchmen-like storytelling, then this is the show for you. If you're looking for the Teen Titans heroes that you have been rooting for and reading in comics for many, many years, this is not it. There are characters calling themselves Raven and Starfire. Well, not yet, but you know what I mean. Starfire and Beast Boy and Robin. But these are not the ones that have carried on this brand for many, many years, that have kept this brand alive. Been a major part of DC's success. This is not it. She still dresses like an extra from Superfly. Yes, I think that's the best way to put it. Silhouetted animator. I have not seen the hallway fight yet on Daredevil. But if you guys want to check out my review of episode 1, it's up on the channel. Please give it a click, please. This is not the dick you're looking for, says Max Eater. Oh, I think we're going to end on that one. Oh, man. I can't find my dick. I'm looking for my dick and I can't find him. This is not the dick we're looking for. Yes. Yeah, we really, I think this is the reason why we need to recap every episode. I need to really brush up on my dick jokes. And yes, 12-year-old humor makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. Keeps me young. There you go. From no, Jez Oldfield. Apparently there's another hallway fight in Daredevil season 3, and it's like supposed to be brilliant. So yes. Basically, while we're between weeks, between episodes of Titans, I want everybody to see if they can find their dick. It's kind of like finding your truth. That's that new saying that I fucking hate so much. It's like, I need to find my truth, which isn't it just a perspective or an opinion? Like, what's your truth? What's that fucking supposed to mean? Sounds like another way to avoid responsibility. My truth says that I've already done the dishes and I don't need to do them again. What? I don't know. What if I'm a woman? That would be surprising. But, who knows? According to Farscape, I'm a very attractive female of what's the name of that species again? Viking bitch. The one from yeah. Sequist says, oh no. Not going down that one at all. Okay, so yes, the bearded lady. That's right. This is going so okay, guys. You're being really funny tonight, so I want you to carry that forward for a couple more hours. Hang on to it, put it in your back pocket, and then come back for the 8:00 live Friday Night Tights, where we will do this for many hours and have lots of fun and hear Dennis's opinion on Titans and Daredevil so far. And Susan, of course, will be joining us. And we do that. If you're watching this as a video, we do it live every Friday at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. now, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be back for Titans sometime in the afternoon, probably the same time, 3:30 next Friday. And we'll be doing this until the series is over. Dennis is, yeah. If I was hard on the episode, Dennis is going to be really hard on it. And yes, I want you to keep in mind what's your nerd origin for Friday night tonight. I want to hear your nerd origin. And if you missed that and you just want to put it in the comments, that's cool. You can go ahead and do that too. I may not realize that I'm using a double entendre. I don't realize I'm doing a lot of stuff. 40 ounces of ice cold gender fluid. And don't forget to change your gender fluid every 3,000 miles, everybody. Everybody. Um, yeah. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to go. Thank you again for the super chats from Cece, Feisty Fan, Jess Reed, and Joe. Joe, yeah, wow. Like very generous super chat. You guys are freaking awesome. We'll see you tonight. Thank you to all our wonderful patrons. And we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/nerderotic, where you get stuff. And right now you get like actual stuff. We send it to you and exclusive content like the Expanse commentaries for every episode. We just started that, so that's going to be fun. Hope you guys like the one I gave. And there's a little specialness to it, but I can't say it here. All right, everybody. Have a good night. I'll see y'all in a couple of hours. If you're watching this live, you've watched this as a video, go watch some of our other content. We have lots of really good stuff that we talk very positively about. And yeah, sorry, DC fans, but yeah, this one's, I mean, Akiva Goldsman. That's all I got to say. All right. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Ciao, everybody.